Time for another round of letting my Instagram friends rate movies. And this one's a biggie because it's my favorite movie series of all time, Indiana Jones. I love Indy. I think he's the coolest movie character ever. And I like all these movies. I know that's controversial to say, especially with the last two. I mean, the original trilogy is pretty well beloved, but those last two, they're pretty divisive. And I was just really curious to see what everybody had to say. I think the first three are perfect, but I know my friends aren't going to all agree with that. We got the original classic starting out, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I thought this one was actually going to be all the way 100% loved, but turns out it's a little behind. There were a few of my friends that actually didn't give this a perfect score, and I was kind of shocked, but I think it's a perfect movie. Next, we got Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, a pretty well-beloved movie, but some people actually don't like it. I think because it's quite a bit darker than the original film. And some of my friends kind of answered that way. As you can see, this one is a little bit further behind Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I kind of expected that. But what surprised me was there were some people who rated this one lower than a couple other movies that we're going to talk about here at the end of this episode. Next, we have my favorite entry in the Indiana Jones series, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I think this is as good as movies get. Every time I watch this movie, I'm just blown away by how fun it is, how well it moves. It's an adventure that's full of heart, and I think most of my friends agree with me. This was the highest rated indie movie. Still, a few people gave it a little bit lower ratings than I expected, but still, this is pretty good. Next, we got Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I like this movie. I think it's a lot of fun. Plus, I saw this in like 8th grade when it came out in the theaters, and that made me fall in love with Indiana Jones even more, just seeing an indie movie on the big screen. But I know some people hate this movie. That being said, the rating, it's lower than half. It could have been better, but some of my friends actually gave it higher ratings than I expected them to, and some actually give it quite high ratings. Like, some of them were giving it to, like, right about here, which I did not see coming at all. Is this movie over the top and crazy sometimes? Yeah, but parts of me still love it. I want to love it just because it's so cool to see Indy go out on another adventure, even if it does get weird at the end. And then finally, the most recent entry in the Indiana Jones series, one that can be kind of divisive as well, but I think it's more liked than Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and my data proves that, because look at this, it's higher than Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, I'm not gonna lie, it was like my most anticipated movie of all time. If you knew me last year, you knew how annoying I was looking forward to this movie. Like, before it came out, I was posting about it all the time. I was hyped, and I really enjoy it still. It's got its flaws, but I do think it's a bit more rounded than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I just think it's so cool to see Indy go out on an adventure again. And plus, you get some nice character development with Indy in this movie. I think he faces some stuff in his personal life he didn't really face in the other films. Like, I really dig that. But overall, the original trilogy, those three are my favorites. They are like some of the best movies ever, and I love them so much. These two are just kind of like nice cherries on top to the whole series. I love it all. I just love Indiana Jones, and I think for the most part, my friends do too.